time they got to the conference finals, they were totally emotionally and physically and mentally gassed. So I think they see a wounded team here with Steph out. They're not going to let that happen again. If they're going to get a gift and get a chance to win the series maybe easier than they thought, then take the gift and try to close it out in as few games as possible. I saw that vision and that all-business approach throughout the entire game last night.
You know, on the flip side with Steph, I was really watching him at the end of the game. He banged his chair once. He talked with Jimmy, who was sick. Sure, it was an interesting conversation there. And then when the game was over, typically the injured dude's gone first. He was the last one to leave. He's kind of looking around the arena, taking it all in, which likely was for the last time. You know, after the game, I went up to him and asked him about playing tomorrow. And he basically told me it was unlikely. And I told him that Draymond had said in the press conference that they didn't want him to be Superman. And he basically said, you know, there's no way I could be Superman.
Even if he wanted to.
Even if I wanted to.
Right.
So, yeah, it's beginning of the inevitable, it appears. And obviously there's some hope that Steph could come back for Game 6. But based on what I'm seeing, this team is out of gas, man.
Yeah, I mean, pack them up. It looks like they're going home. And I knew when Steph got the injury that it was going to take some time. A hamstring, I don't know if anybody's had one before. I've had one. It takes, if you want to be safe, probably about 2 weeks before you can come back and exert that type of explosion for playoff energy. A week and a half is really pushing it. But even Jimmy's play, just watching Jimmy play last night, it told me that Steph's not coming back. Because if he had any idea that Steph had a chance of coming back, he would have given his all and tried to find a way to get them one win so that Steph could be back for Game 6 or 7. But Jimmy last night, even though he is older, I know he's getting gassed. He's not able to do what has done in the past in Miami. But, you know, he just showed his lack of aggression showed me that there was no hope for Steph coming back. And he was like, I'm not going to exert that energy and kill myself for where we don't have a chance because our Batman's not going to show up.
Yeah, passion, like we're talking about that during the game. They were waiting for him to kind of take over, and it just never happened, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, he was under the weather. I don't know how much that affected him, but the Wolves also did a really good job of focusing on him. You know, they have great length. I mean, Lakers learned this. The size difference and the depth difference matters.
Yeah.
The Wolves are deeper right now because the Steph is out, and they're bigger, and they've used that to their advantage.
I think Jimmy's in a lot more pain than he's.
Oh, I mean, from that first series.
You could just tell.
Yeah, the back injury, right?
Right. Well, right. He fell on his back.
No,
and
Danny, you know when he takes
area.
the ball to the hole, there's a big boy way about him and his finishing and his little mid-range jumps and his runners. They're non-existent this series.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move forward here. In case you missed it, after the Wolves took Game 4, Julius Randle's son, Kai, shared some simple advice he gives his dad before every game. Words that seem to be working. Let's take a listen.
I like to hype him up, and I like to just watch him play and play his hardest.
What do you tell him?
I don't know, I just tell him to lock in and play good.
That's good advice. He's ready to be a coach, I'll tell you that. That's for sure. All right, coming up on NBA Today, what to make of Cooper's combine so far. A live report on his day today and all the other top prospects as well. Plus, to tank or not to tank, that's the question. Is there a better way to handle the draft lottery so smaller markets have a means to improve? A heated newsroom debate makes it on its way to the desk. And can the seemingly exhausted Nikola Jokic... All right, let's get to this developing story. With 2:58 left in last night's game against the Knicks, Jason Tatum went down with a non-contact injury. It ended what had been his best game of the postseason thus far, having scored 42 points before hurting that right leg. Tatum wasn't able to put any weight on that right leg, and we will have the results of his MRI as soon as we can. But here's our Shams Charania, what we reported yesterday out of Boston. But let's get into the highlight. Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, a critical Game 4 at MSG. The Knicks entered last night's game plus 550 to win this one. And Kat saying, you know what? I don't care about your odds. Jalen Brunson going to work on Derek White, guys. Look at this.
Derek White doesn't get made look like a fool like that too often.
Big body Brunson. That's perfect.
And again,
Another one.
The dagger rattles that one home. Knicks get the win. Go up 3-1. Here's Tibbs after the game.
Just the way he's wired, a lot of poise under pressure. His confidence, I think, is always super high just because of the way he prepares and the way he works. No moment is too big for him. You're not going to speed him up. He's great at creating separation, and he's always got great balance on a shot.
I expect nothing less from Cat. It gets to the fourth quarter, and he's a bad man when it comes to the fourth quarter and clutch point. So I know we've said it before, but you get in those moments, we all trust our talent. We know what we all do. But, man, it's special when you get to watch him in the fourth quarter. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Cat with those sunglasses. Here is the mayhem that ensued outside on 7th Avenue, outside of MSG.
Gotham City.
You know what's so great about this? This is organic. This isn't organized by anybody. This is just the Knicks fans wanting to celebrate together.
They are certainly celebrating. As Mike Breen said it yesterday, the biggest win in 25 years for the Knicks. The Knicks entered last night's game at plus 550 to win the East, the longest odds in the conference. One day later, they are plus 120 favorites to win the Eastern Conference. So, gentlemen, and welcome in alongside three-time NBA champion Danny Green, the Hall of Famer Mark Spears, and the host of the Hoop Collective podcast, Brian Windhorst.
Got a college one. I've been lucky.
I'm George Sedano in for Malika today. All right, let's talk about this. Danny, the Knicks and how they're doing it, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing Cat. A lot of Cat. When he plays well, that's when they go far. Obviously, OG stepped up. Mikal was unbelievable in that fourth quarter. That one-legged fader was a big play. But when Cat plays, he had a 20-point double-double. When he plays like that and is aggressive, the Knicks are a totally different team. They're very much dangerous. They scored 120 points or 119, whatever it was, more than what anybody expected them to play. And Boston just couldn't keep a lead. But it all started for the New York Knicks when Cat showed up to play last night.
George, the last year and a half, the Knicks have invested massively in putting this starting lineup together. Trading for OG Anunoby, trading for Mikal Bridges, trading for Karl Towns. They are investing huge amounts of money and resources into them. They were awesome last night. Put alongside Brunson, all of them playing together, plus Josh Hart, who they traded for 2 years ago. This is what their dream is. Their dream is that this powerhouse starting lineup is able to be a difference maker. They were great collectively in this game. All of them contributed in one way or another, and then Mitchell Robinson off the bench was also a factor. But Bridges, twice in this series, you say that Brunson is the fourth quarter killer, and you're right. Guess what? Twice in this series, Bridges has led the Knicks in scoring in the fourth quarter, including the win in Game 2 and the win in Game 4. The combination of them results in what I agree is the most impressive win for the Knicks in 2 decades.
Knicks mania is crazy, man.
It's getting there.
Is there a thirstier franchise in the NBA right now?
No.
The excitement is unreal. This could be their first East Conference Finals since 2000, bro. 2000. They haven't been to the finals since 1999, so I get it. Just out of curiosity, I went and looked at Game 6 tickets, how much they are.
Oh, come on.
Just in case, in MSG.
Friday night.
Keep in mind, this is the second round. 19 grand for third row.
Oh, I believe it.
Second round.
Yeah.
Worst seat in the building, $865. And assuming they make the next step, it's about to get crazy.
Yeah.
Danny, what are you seeing specifically from Brunson, the clutch player of the year?
I mean, I love that he's picking up the pace. He's attacking, so that he has one-on-one mismatches. They usually kind of attack in methodical ways and they slow the game down. Not last night. Run the tape. So they had a chance to get out early. He got, Al Horford and some one-on-one switches. This is what happens when you get a push-the-pace activity. You got the paint wide open. Boston's still trying to match up. Brunson's got Al Horford one-on-one, gets right by him. A whole lot of paint space, gets to that left hand, and he gets an easy layup on Derek White. Get the switch. Didn't take his time. Did not probe dribble at all. So Al Horford, eyes lit up. I'm going straight to the basket. I'm not wasting any time. Same thing with the switch here with Al Horford again. I'm not going to waste any time. Not going to give Boston a chance to load up and be able to help and shift. I'm going to take him one-on-one in the fourth quarter and get some baskets early in the shot clock, or get my team a basket early in the shot clock so we don't get grenades.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Celtics. The Celtics dropped from the East favorites to the remaining East team with the longest odds to win the conference, now at plus 850 at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. This is the first time since the season started the Celtics have not been favored to win the East. So what do we make of the Celtics here, Brian?
First off, I'm not giving this series to the Knicks just yet. And that's not a commentary on the Knicks. That's a commentary on the Celtics. They were 8-2 this year when Jason Tatum didn't play. They are loaded at the top end of their talent on their roster. They theoretically could get Game 7 at home if they win the next 2 games. That's a big if, but I'm just saying they do have potential home court advantage.
Very big if.
And I believe that they will rally back from this. And so what I've learned with the Celtics over the last 4 years of being there a lot in the playoffs is they lose when you think they're going to win, and they win when you think they're going to lose. And everybody's thinking they're going to lose. I'm not ready to go there. I think you see them fight back. But obviously the Tatum situation is extraordinarily upsetting and concerning.
What are the repercussions of that, though, Mark?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the 19K tickets, you know.
Because in case...
in the first round of playoffs, there was an executive from another team who said, I expect the Celtics to make major trades. You know, they got 5 guys that are making $28 million or more. The 2 superstars make over $50 million, new ownership.
Yep.
They're going to make some changes. I don't expect this team to be the same, even if they were to figure out everything. The 2 teams...
And even if Tatum were healthy, you're saying?
Yes. The 2 teams I'm kind of keeping an eye on. One is the Houston Rockets. They certainly have the resources for trade. They have a coach that the Celtics players, the guys that have some money, know well and are attracted to. And then another team is the Spurs. You know, the Spurs have this number 2 pick. I'm pretty confident Cooper Flagg's going number 1. They're not going to trade that in Dallas. But I think I'm hearing that the Spurs are going to be open-minded. They like what's at 2. His Spurs are willing to keep at 2. But if I'm the Spurs, I might be calling Boston too, see what I could potentially do there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the situation for Philly and San Antonio, 2 of the teams I've played for in the top 3. They get some good picks, and they can, you know, fill out their roster pretty quickly without having to spend a lot of money.
Guys, you're greasing the champions right out here.
But yeah,
I'm going to let you guys cook on that. I'll wait till they lose another game.
I just don't think so. Back to Boston. Pack them up. They're going home. I love Wendy's positivity. And
reality,
buddy. And they have been good without Jason Tatum, but he's led
8-2 without Jason Tatum in the regular season.
In points, assists, rebounds, in every statistical category for this postseason. Without that, and without, you know, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, I got to give a lot of flowers to the Knicks, and especially Mitchell Robinson. They could not keep him off the glass. They got out-rebounded last night. They got out-bullied. They needed more from Drew Holiday and Porzingis.